Hi and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm really excited today because I have got this little gem. This is the most incredible Harry Potter thing I've ever seen in my life. It's a board game, but it's actually a board game that you can play in different ways with the whole. It's like got the whole universe of Harry Potter inside this thing. So I thought I'd share it with you. And today we're going to take a look at what we've got inside the box. So let's go. First of all, look here. I have received a letter from Hogwarts, and this letter says that, lucky me, I have been accepted into the School of Hogwarts. So let's go. I'll just put the counters to the side for a moment because I want to show you the board. Well, I mean, there's not one board in this game. There's actually not two, not three, but 4 different playing boards. The main one is based on the Marauders map. So there you have literally the entire blueprints of Hogwarts Castle, with all of the emblematic places from Harry Potter from the castle. And then here we have Diagon Alley, and I'm going to put that down over here because there's a little pathway which over a pointed finger square you can get to the main castle. And then this board has really the iconic places from the books and films: the Hall of Prophecy, Malfoy Manor, Gringotts Wizarding Bank, Grimmauld Place, and the Forest of Dean. And I'm going to put this board over here because there's also a little pathway that leads from Hogsmeade to the main board there. There are different ways to travel between these boards, but I'll explain that a little bit later on. Next, let's talk about the different ways that we can play and all of the different cards that we've got to help us play the different modes. So basically there's 2 main ways you can play, but there's different levels of difficulty. So if you're playing in game mode 1, you're going to be completing missions. And the missions are basically, here they are. You have 30 missions, and the missions correspond to the books and the films. So for the first 10 missions, missions 1 to 10, it's books 1, 2 and 3. For the 10 next missions, it's books and films 4 and 5. And for the 10 last missions, it's books 6 and 7. So really, you can actually, with this game, relive like the whole of Harry Potter. So if you look there, like the first mission, defeat the basilisk, ring any bells. You're going to be collecting tokens on the board, and if you're playing in the expert mode, then you have to also collect some extra spells sometimes and things like this. For the basilisk, so that's worth 200 points, and the missions are what are going to earn you the most points. So in the mission mode, basically your goal is to complete missions, earn points. And there's different ways to do that, but the missions are what will earn you the most points. I'll tell you the other ways in a minute. And for that, you would have to get Fumsec and the Sword of Gryffindor, and then go to the Chamber of Secrets. And when you go to the Chamber of Secrets, you're then going to have to take the combat card that goes with the mission. So I'm just going to put the mission cards down for a minute. Keep this one. And take the combat cards, if I can find them. Up. So that is mission number 5. I'm going to find the combat card. So they've all got the numbers on them, so you just have to find the right number. Mission number 5. This mission card goes with this combat card, so number 5 goes with number 5. And there, to defeat the basilisk, you are going to have to fight against this card, and I will explain how that works a little bit later on. But you can imagine it's a little bit like maybe in like a video game where you're going to have a number of lives, and they've got a number of lives, and you've got special abilities, and they've got special abilities, and you can attack them in different ways. We use dice, but we also use spells and potions, and I'll show you the spells and potions in a moment. But that's how we do the missions. Up. The other ways you can earn points. So what gets you the most points is doing the missions, but there are other ways you can earn points. For example, you start the game with some book cards, and you can also collect book cards, and the book cards are actually the actual textbooks from Harry Potter. So I've got the standard book of spells from year 2, year 3, Gorshock's Guide to Herbology by Miranda Gorshock, literally all of the books that Harry Potter and his friends actually study in Harry Potter. And they're all worth a number of points. And it's not a huge number of points, but it could help because like in the quick game, you need to get 210 points and complete at least one mission. Well, if you complete a mission that's worth like 200 points, all you need to do is to get to the right spell class on here. So this is Spells and Charms class, so you'd find the Spells and Charms class on the board, you go there, and then you exchange this textbook for 10 points, and then you would have won the game. So they can be quite useful. And another way to win points is with action cards. So this is like, we can imagine, so the action cards are, you pick them up when you land on an action square on the board, and for all of the cards it's going to be with the matching symbol. And an action card, it can be something that you've done that's good, and so maybe one of the professors is going to give you some points, or maybe you did something that was bad and they're going to take some away. So it's kind of a bit of a gamble with these ones. So, for example, Severus Snape, you have been impertinent. Professor Snape takes away 20 house points from you. So that's bad luck, you just lost 20 points. But over here, Albus Dumbledore, you display exceptional composure and courage. Win 50 house points. So it's a gamble, but you could win 50 extra points. So, you know, we'll put those over there. We also have event cards, and event cards might lead you to gain or lose points sometimes too, but basically the thing with events is it's an event, like it affects everybody at the same time, so all the players are affected at the same time by events. I'll just take you an example. It's Hagrid. Care of Magical Creatures classroom. All the players move their pawns to the Care of Magical Creatures classroom. Everyone chooses an object of their choice from the second playing board. I haven't explained objects yet, but I can tell you that's a pretty awesome card because the objects are like the main thing you need to complete your mission. So if you get to pick a free object, that could be really good. Put those over there. Oh yes, and the last way that you can earn points, I think I forgot to show you a playing board. The last way you can earn points is with this. This is a Quidditch pitch. And basically, you can play a match of Quidditch within the game. When you're playing in mission game mode, you can go to the Quidditch pitch on the main board and then invite a player to come and challenge you. And there's some separate rules and counters for this game, so it can actually be played separately. Like you could just, if you just have like 15 minutes and you just want a boost of Harry Potter, you could just play a Quidditch match. But you can also play the game within the game, and if you win the Quidditch, then you win 40 House Cup points. So that is also a good way to earn points. And I'm going to put this one over there. So that's the 4 ways to earn points. So you have your missions, the book cards, the action cards, and the Quidditch pitch. And so that's like the major game mode, and you have 2 sets of rules, like a more of a beginner set, and then you have a more of an expert set of rules. We'll get into all that later. And then there's the second game mode, which is more like good versus evil and a race against the clock. It's so when Voldemort returns, or when you try to stop him returning. We'll just go through the last cards, but not least. We have duel cards. If you land on a duel square on the board, then you're going to enter into a fight with a character. For example, here we have Gregory Goyle. Often it's students from the school. These aren't always the hardest characters to defeat. Like if you compare a combat with a duel to a combat with a mission, the mission combats are a lot harder. So don't be afraid of going and doing a few duels, because basically when you succeed in beating the character, you get to draw a book card and a spell card and a potion card, and that's a lot of cards. And especially if you're playing in the advanced mode, you're going to maybe need extra cards, because for the missions you have to collect objects and special spells and special potions. And let's talk about the spells and potions. So the last lots of cards we have in here are the spell cards and the potion cards. And this is when I get giddy because it's so awesome. You literally have every single spell from Harry Potter. And you have attack spells and defense spells. For example, Expecto Patronum invokes a protective spirit which can shield you against some creatures, and your opponent can't use their special ability for 2 turns. We've got Protego. We've got another Expecto Patronum. The Unforgivable Curse. I bet that's a bad one. All of the cards explain to you what the effects of those spells are, and it's the same for the potion cards. So you have attack spells and defense spells and attack potions and defense potions, and for the most part you'll use them during the combat. So when you're doing missions, occasionally when you play against another player, if you're doing the advanced expert mode, or in the duels you might use them even though you might not need them for the duels. But you do also have some special spells and potions that you can play at the start of your turn. So it's always good to take a close look at what cards you've got so that you can play them at the best moment. So there's lots of bits and pieces, but it's actually quite straightforward. For the most part, when you land on a square which has a symbol on it, you're going to draw the same symbol card. Spells and potions are going to help you win combats. Books and actions are going to help you to gain more points. The combats are with the missions, and the events affect everybody. What haven't I shown you? I haven't shown you what your actual player card is going to look like. Let's have a look here. This is another really cool thing because you've got all the characters. You've got 15 different characters that you can play. So you can be Ginny, you can be Harry, and they're double-sided. So sometimes you can you don't only have to play the really good guys. You could be Draco as well. Each of these characters has special abilities that are different. So each player is going to start the game with different advantages and is going to have different advantages throughout the game. And then, as you can see here, I said it sometimes. In some ways, it's a bit like a cross between a board game and a video game because you start with life points, and basically your character's going to improve and get stronger throughout the game because you can collect more life points. You're going to collect more objects. You're going to collect more spells, more potions, so you're going to get stronger, and a bit like, as Harry and his friends progress through the books and films as well, as they go through their adventure, they get cooler too. So, I think what I found really amazing about this game overall is that it's just so utterly complete. You literally have everything from Harry Potter in here, and you can play in lots of different ways. If you do have any questions about how to play, or you're not sure on one of the rules, although I have to say the rule book is really well done as well, it explains everything really clearly. Look, I'm going to do some other videos to explain how the board works and stuff, but everything's in here. And if you're unsure of something, you can actually contact the creator of the game. I had a question when I was playing in Voldemort Returns mode the other day, and I sent a message to this email address, and a really nice French guy sent me an email back to explain it, so I thought that was really cool. So yeah, the editor, Toppy Games, really awesome stuff. I think I still have a lot to discover with Harry Potter, but I think I'm going to check out some of their other games too. Cool. So I think I've unboxed everything for you. I'll just show you quickly the other bits and pieces over here. So these are like the life point tokens that I was mentioning that are going to go on your cards and that you're going to collect as you go around. These bits and pieces over here are for the Quidditch. These are your character counters. So you have a little plinth, and you'll put them in and then put them on the start square, and you can choose to be whoever you want. These are the objects you're going to collect. So the objects, we'll set them up randomly on the board on squares with rosettes For the missions mode that I was talking about, you put all the objects on there. For Voldemort Returns, it's a little bit different, but we'll explain that in another video. You've got the Death Eaters down here that are for the second game mode as well. These are the house points that you can win. And down here, Floo powder and portkeys. Now, those are really important for travelling to these emblematic places on board 3 over here that you might need to get. I mean, you know, you can choose to go around and get objects from anywhere, but you might have missions over there, and for Voldemort Returns modes, you'll need to go to Little Hangleton Graveyard to finish the game. There we go, so I think we've looked at everything, so we can end the unboxing video there, and I invite you to join me in another video to have a look a bit more in detail at different parts of the game.